This is Trish TV. My name is Trish Jenkins, and I have a wonderful guest for you today, Julie Donnelly, who is an expert in pain relief of the muscular kind. And if I've said that wrong or misread, she's going to correct me when I bring her on. So give us a wave, Julie. Great. And we are going to get back and meet Julie right after this.
The strongest prison bars are in your head. Leaders and teams, it's time for a jailbreak.
And welcome to the show. Welcome, Julie. Thank you for coming on.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Trish. I appreciate that.
And where are you based? Obviously, you're in America, but whereabouts are you?
Well, obviously. I sound like an American. I'm in Sarasota, Florida, just a bit.
Nice. And you're in the middle of summer there. Nice and warm where you are. Yeah, and we're all rugged up.
You're in
here.
the opposite. You're in the cool, right?
We are, yes. So I've rugged up a little bit. Now, Julie, I'm interested in anything that is pain relief. I don't often suffer pain, but sometimes when I'm sitting here, this is not where I do my normal work. Right. I have a second desk over there which has a proper seat and so on, but I can spend hours in this seat and I get a little bit of pain. So, I don't know. I can't imagine how people live with long-term chronic pain. So tell me a bit about what you do that helps people.
Well, to make a really short analogy, Trish, if you pull your hair, your scalp hurts. If you pull it really hard and you try to turn in the other direction, you can't turn and it's making your scalp hurt even more. If you pull it long enough and hard enough, eventually it's going to rip out. But you don't need to massage your scalp and you don't need to be taking pills for the pain. And you certainly don't need brain surgery. All you need to do is let go of your hair. Well, in the same way, right? I mean, it's just logical.
I love that. That's great. Yeah.
And the thing is, a muscle attaches to a tendon, and then the tendon crosses over a joint, and it attaches to the bone. If the muscle is tight, it's pulling on the tendon, which is then pulling on the bone. Exactly the same way as our little hair analogy.
Okay.
If you're trying, let's just say, for argument's sake, we'll do the arm. So your bicep.
Okay, let me make it a bit bigger. There we go.
Okay.
Yep.
Your bicep originates here in your shoulder, and it inserts into right here into the inside of your elbow. And when it contracts, you touch your shoulder. But if the muscle, let's say now you're touching your shoulder and then this muscle gets tight for whatever reason.
Right. Okay.
And you're trying to open your arm, you can't. You can only go as far as this muscle is going to stretch. And then at that point, if you keep trying to go further and it's not lengthening, then you're having pain on the inside of your elbow and you may be having pain up at the top of your shoulder. So you think you have an elbow problem or you think you have a shoulder problem, but you really have a problem with this muscle right here. When you release the tension in this muscle, then you can straighten your arm out with no problem. And the thing is, Trish, that's the whole entire body, everywhere in the body. From people suffer from TMJ, and all TMJ is temporal mandibular. Temporal mandibular jaw. It's like when your jaw locks on the one side and you try to yawn or open your mouth to chew food, and then your jaw goes and it like slips over to the side and you might feel clicking here. I mean, it's very painful.
Do you know that I just need to park there for a moment because you've said, most people would think it's either the elbow or it's the shoulder.
Right.
But it's the tendon running between them.
It's the muscle.
That needs to be
it's
flexible.
the muscle.
The muscle, but it's not the obvious thing that you think it is.
Right.
And, I don't want to get sort of too much about the symbolism too early, but because I'm about resilience and about, our mental and our emotional state.
Mm-hmm.
So often the things that we think are the problem, it might be that person's behavior, or the circumstances that are around us, but actually the problem is more rooted in our perceptions. So I just quickly saw that parallel, and I thought, the body, we're a tripart being. We are body, we are mind, we are emotions, and so it's kind of neat that there's a parallel there, that even in our body, just because it's manifesting here or we think it's here, we've got to look deeper and see where the cause is. And when we get to the cause, because so often we treat symptoms, don't we?
And
we treat depression with pills, and what we need to do is think differently. So I love that.
What I tell people, Trish, is I teach massage therapists, and what I teach is that wherever you're feeling the pain, look at what muscle inserts into that point where you're feeling the pain. Then follow that muscle back to, it's called the muscle belly. It's like the larger part of the muscle. The odds are that's the cause of the pain. Not where you're actually feeling it. That's just this, and then you're feeling the pain here. But that's not where it's coming from. And the thing that's so important, Trish, is that once you get the concept that it's not where you're feeling it, that's the insertion point of the muscle, that's the actual cause of it, then you can just, you like go backwards. It's like the dominoes. So you push the first domino and eventually the last one falls. Well, in this case, the last one is the pain that you're feeling, but it really came from the first one that you pushed. It's like in our TMJ issue. So a spasm right here in this muscle right here will hold your jaw together. And it holds your jaw together so that if you try to open your mouth, it hurts. It hurts up here. Okay. And you may feel clicking. And it happens to so many people. And people suffer for years. And it's a simple matter of just putting your fingers on, just like put your fingers on your cheeks like this and press in. Mm-hmm. Now, what I want you to do while you're pressing, clench your teeth really tight. You can clench them and open them and clench. And you see how you can feel the muscle bulging out underneath your fingertips?
Yeah, so I feel that.
If you have TMJ, if you were pushing the way you are now, it hurts. And you're feeling the spasm that's holding the muscle together. Well, it's pulling on the two insertion points are here and here. So it's pulling together like this, which means if it's pulling together like this, and then you try to open your mouth, you can't because it's pulling together.
You can see my fingers moving in and out as I clench and reclench.
Right. And it's such a simple treatment, and I'd love to share it with the viewers.
Yeah,
because
great.
All you do is you put your fingers there and you press. Now, what I want you to do, you're going to do it one side at a time. So keep your fingers where they are, but no pressure on the left side, only pressure on the right side. And you press in.
My left.
Okay. And then you press in to the degree of your tolerance. Now, if you had TMJ, you wouldn't be pressing as hard as you are right now. Right. Unless you have TMJ. But so you hold it for a slow count of 5. And then you slowly release that pressure on the right side. And at the same time, slowly increase the pressure on your left side. And you hold that for a slow count of 5. And you're going to keep going back and forth until it doesn't hurt. When it doesn't hurt, I'm going to turn sideways so you can see this. So you're here. You're not going to move. It's not going to be a big movement. You're going to go to here. You see, it's like one finger's movement back.
Closer towards your ear.
I was here, and now I'm here.
Okay.
Right? And then you press again. And you do that on both sides. And you treat it the exact same way. After you've done that, you move down this way and then just start feeling around, like press in hard. If you find something that hurts, then you found another spasm. The masseter muscle is the strongest muscle in your body. And
Really?
yeah, it really is. But it's only this big. It's really small.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, because if you think about it, think when you clench your teeth. You know?
Yes.
I was in China one time and I saw the Chinese acrobats. And oh my gosh, they did this pyramid that incredible, where these two young women were just clenching on a bite plate, and then they curled their bodies backwards, and then a pyramid of people, of these gymnasts were on top. The whole thing was being held by these two women who were clenching onto this bite plate.
Wow.
Yeah, incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Gee, you'd want to make sure you looked after your teeth if you're doing that sort of line of work.
Yeah, you would. That's for sure. Maybe they need to learn how to do this, but I guess they've got a lock on it.
I think you're right. And if you're watching this, if you're on Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube, if you're watching live, then feel free to join us if you've got a question or a comment. We'd love to include you in the chat. It'd be great.
Absolutely.
So that's wonderful, Julie.
So let me just give you.
Keep going.
Excuse me for interrupting. Let me just give you the last piece. After you've done all that, go back to the beginning. Press in on both sides equally as hard. And I don't want you doing this because you haven't treated it, but you would press in as hard as you can and then slowly open your mouth as wide as you can get it open. And now take the pressure off and close your mouth. And now you can open your mouth and you'd be fine.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a great exercise.
It's a wonderful treatment. And anybody who clenches their teeth or chews gum needs to know how to do that.
Right. Okay. Very good. That's a great exercise to know straight away, and I can see the principle. So you'd have lots of exercises for different parts of the body, for different areas.
From headaches to foot pain called plantar fasciitis. The same thing. People have pain in their foot. They call it plantar fasciitis. They spend literally thousands of dollars on their feet, and the problem is coming from the lower leg. And if you treat the lower leg, you get rid of the plantar fasciitis.
If you get rid of the lower leg or the
pain? Well, I don't mean, no, don't cut the lower leg off. It probably wouldn't work well. Right? Get rid of the spasms.
Yeah. Well, look, I do want to hear a bit about your story, but I think since we're just on this right now, I do want to make sure that people can go to your website. It is julstro.com, and you made that word from your name, Julie, and
stroke.
Explain the name of it. And stroke.
STROKE, Julie Stroke.
Yep.
So it's just
Yep,
Julstro.
There you go. Julstro, JULSTRO.com. So you can go to her website. In fact, what I'm going to do is share your website with us.
Thank
so
you.
I'll share screen.
Thank you.
So people know where they'll be going. So you can share. There we go.
So now that's the home page right now, but in a couple of weeks it'll be a different home page. So
that's okay. But this is Julstro method. Yep, that's all right. So you've got details about that. Frequently asked questions. You've got a blog. You've got forums. You've got workshops that you do, and you do those workshops virtually, or do you have to do them in person?
They're actually becoming. I teach massage therapists virtually.
Great.
And the workshops for the self-treatment, haven't quite figured out how to do that virtually yet, because I'd need a full camera studio in order to do that.
Sure.
On the other hand,
you can do,
I do have videos that I've taken in my office, and people can buy those individually. Like if they have a hip problem, they can buy the hip one. It's less than $5. Or if they have a foot
that's
problem.
excellent. Is that in your shop? I'm just clicking on your Is your shop set up? Here we go. Easy and low
So
cost. Well, look, when you're watching this, you can look at Julie's gear, and she has a book, Pain-Free Living. I wanted to
that's it.
show that book too. Now, you've got this as an ebook as well, haven't you,
Right.
for
It's
people in
on.
Australia?
Right. And that's exactly why I did it. For the shipping, when I only had the printed books and somebody in Australia or Europe would want to order it, the shipping came to almost twice as much as the book.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I thought that's absolutely ridiculous. So I made it an ebook so that now you can get
Right.
it that way.
Yep. And if people have any trouble, they can message you through your website anyway, can't they?
Yes, they
Because
can.
I got my book through when you emailed it. So if
Mhm.
anyone does have any, you want the book, and if you have any issues, just go to the website and go to Julie's contact page and send her a message there. You've got info@julstromethod.com in the top there. You can send her an
Right.
email, and you just send her a little note in plain text and ask how you can get her book
Mhm.
and she'll send you the PDF. So I've done that with my book sometimes. If there's been a bit of a
Mhm.
glitch, then people can just send it to my use my email address for
Mhm.
PayPal or something like that, and then I
Right.
can just email it straight off. There was one lady, I bought 6 of her books at once. I rang her up and I said, I want these books, and she didn't have them for sale as ebooks. And I said, well, you must have them as PDFs, do you, on your computer? She said, oh, yes, I do. And I said, well, can I buy them? And she went, oh, I hadn't thought of that. So, I just paid
Mhm.
so much per book and sent it across, and she emailed them. So there's always a way. I just want with people, if you're in pain, you need relief.
The,
You don't need to be
the,
messed around. So get the book and get in touch with
the,
Julie. Hmm.
the Kindle
You were
book
saying?
really works the best. Um,
Yep.
that it
It's
works
great.
well. Or of
Yeah. Well,
course,
you
if,
get
if you're not in Australia, if you're in the United States, then you can get the
the
printed
physical
book.
book.
I mean, I
That's right.
personally,
Mm.
I prefer printed. I like to have it. I like to have it in front of me, and
Yep.
I like to see the charts. But then that could be let's call it a generational
Well,
situation.
I think it depends. It depends because I like
Hmm.
both. There are
Hmm.
times when I like a printed book and I
Right.
like the pages, and especially with novels, if it's fiction or something that's a
Hmm.
story. But if it's a study book, and sometimes I like a study book as well that I can put highlighter in. But when
Right.
I'm looking for something in the book and I'm referencing, I love being able to search, keyword search and find what I'm looking for. So
And
either way,
I think with Kindle you can do that. I think with Kindle you can do the search and you can do the highlighting and
yeah, it
uh,
might depend on
I
which
believe
Kindle you've got or if you're looking at. But anyway, yeah, that's great. Well, I just wanted to make sure that people knew that they could get your
Mhm.
book, they can get
Right.
your resources, and particularly for people who are massage therapists, they can
Absolutely.
learn your techniques online. So now where we got here, we've got somebody's making a comment. Oh, here we go, Don. Hi, Don.
Hi,
Welcome.
Don. So nice
Julie
to
has a
see you.
yeah, very good. So Don
Yeah.
has a method that gets results quickly and completely. After years of stretching and massage, my legs feel better than ever using. Oh, fantastic! Well, there you go.
Thank you, Don.
There you go. There's proof in the pudding. Yeah, thank you for that, Don. That's great. So
But
that's
I love
terrific. Really good.
teaching people. I've developed, Trish, through the years, the vast majority of my techniques, certainly the self-treatment techniques, were all developed on me because I kept getting issues and I knew what I
Right.
would do to you if you came in to see me, but I couldn't find anybody to do to me what I could do to you, right? Which is another reason I teach massage therapists, by the way.
Oh, very good. Yeah,
But
and thank you, Don, that she is an expert. You're an expert's expert. Thank you, Julie. Thank you,
thank you,
Don. That's
Don. Appreciate that.
yeah. Well, actually, that's a very good phrase, experts expert, because the massage therapists are experts,
They are.
but
Hmm.
they need training as well.
Hmm.
So yeah, if people can do for themselves, like you've got the massage therapists might need to work on themselves, but then
Mhm.
that will actually make them better at working on other people.
It's true.
Really.
It's true. Well, it's working on themselves because it's like I've been in this industry now since 1989. So that's a long time. And most therapists have burned out by this time. But because I've
Really?
been well, out of pain, I mean, what we do is really taxing on our body. And,
Of course. That
and
makes
so,
so much sense. Let me just hang on. Let me just park there for a minute, because you are wanting to reach out to beauty therapists, and you know, when I think of specialists, you know, ending up in pain, I think of people who lay tiles. You know, that
right,
they're doing work that is
physical work,
physically,
right,
or a barber shop where their arms are up like this all the time,
right.
with, you know, cutting people's hair
Mhm.
and laying tiles. I know I've got a friend who's he's only, I think he's probably my age, and he's crippled up and can't keep
Oh, how
doing what he's
sad.
doing. So it hadn't, well, he's had to move into retirement because he hasn't compensated his body from, you know, sort of done what it needed to
But
be done to keep it
he still
hunched over.
can. He still
Well,
can.
he can. Well, I'm
He
going to let him
can.
know about you. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm going to let him know about you. But I can see it hadn't occurred to me, of course, that, you know, you might think that someone who does massage and things would be really fit and muscular because they're doing it. But at the same time, they could be wearing out because it's such physical
Hmm.
work and repetitive
Repetitive
motions.
movement. Do you know the number one repetitive movement, Trish, is sitting? It's sitting. And
They say
sitting,
it's the new smoking.
the muscles that pull you into the sitting position are the cause of not only low back pain, but actually all back pain, but we'll specify low back pain, but also sciatica, groin pain, hip pain, knee pain. It can
Wow.
go all the way up to your head, because if you think about it, those muscles are they're pulling you so that your body folds so that you can sit down. But then the muscle, it's called muscle memory. And when a muscle is held in a position for a period of time, it actually shortens to that length. You then
Right.
try to stand up, but that muscle has shortened. And what it does is it pulls down on your lumbar vertebra, and you're getting this situation. And so it's pulling on the bones. You're feeling low back pain. You think of it as your brain translates it to be your low back, but it is the lumbar vertebra. It's the front side of it, not the back side. That's why you can rub
Right.
your back and you bend over and you say, "Oh, I need to stretch my back," and so you bend over. And it feels good for a little bit, but then you try to stand up. Well, of course it feels good. You just put point A closer to point B while you're bending over. Then when you try to stand back up straight again, it's too short. So it's pulling on your lumbar. But it's also causing your pelvis to rotate. And as that happens, it causes the bone in the back to press up into your sciatic nerve. So you can end up
Oh,
with sciatica. It's causing the bones, the pelvis is rotating by your hip bones, you know, your thigh bones. And so they're like torquing. So you're feeling pain in your hip. Um, the muscles, they insert below your knee. And too long to go into this venue, but which, by the way, I wrote a book called The 15-Minute Back Pain Solution that you can also get on Kindle. And
oh, hang on, let
and
me find that. Keep talking, but I want to find that. So that's in your shop, is it?
it's in the shop. I have it printed
Okay.
and I'd have it on Kindle.
All right. So I'm going to, you keep talking and I will find it in
So
your
what
area.
happens, the book explains it step by step. And so on day one, you do these treatments and it shows you exactly how to do it. There's photographs that shows you how to do it. And then on day two, you do the treatment from day one and the treatment from day two. And on day three, you do 1, 2, and 3. And you
Here we are.
keep doing that. And it works. It works. In fact, the
The
reason that I
15
even wrote it is because I've been teaching it to people easily 20 years. And finally, people were asking me, pictures, like, can I send them pictures? And it just got to be where I was sending it out over and over and over. And finally I said, that's it, I'm writing a book. And so I did.
And your book has got pictures in it, and people can get that as an ebook as well.
It does.
Through Amazon. And you've got the other Amazons in the other countries, in the UK and Australia, presumably. You've ticked the same boxes that I did to make it available. And once again, if there are any glitches, which can happen from time to time on Amazon, you can contact Julie and buy it directly from her, because you can pay her and she can just email it to you if there's an issue. There probably won't be, but I like to say that as a backup. And so, yeah, that got my attention because, as you know, at the start of the show, I was saying to you that sitting in this seat too long, I feel it. It's about here at the back, about this level,
right?
But at the back. And you said, oh, no, what you do is press around the rib cage.
Right, in the front.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm gonna look that up.
I think that it's so important. Like I said, I teach massage therapists, and I'm trying my very, very best, but there's a slim chance I may not live forever. Just a slim chance.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm trying. I'm doing my best.
Yeah.
But it's a long time from now. Right. But the thing is, I don't want to leave this earth with all this in my head. So it's vital to me. It's vital that I get it out to as many massage therapists and physical therapists as I possibly can. And the self-treatments, that I get it out to as many people as I can. And then even for the massage therapist and the PTs, with the self-treatment, they want their clients to get better. Well, it's a repetitive strain injury. And so, how many people at 2:00 in the morning wake up with a shooting pain in their hip? What are you going to do at 2:00 in the morning? You need to know how to treat yourself. And my feeling, like I teach every single client who comes into my office, I always make sure they know how to self-treat the muscles that I just treated. Although I have come to learn that I can only teach them how to do 2, because there may be 8 muscles involved. If I teach them all 8, they forget it all. But if I teach them 2,
they can come back to you for
right. And then the next time they come back, I teach them 2 more, because they already know those first 2.
And how refreshing, Julie, how refreshing that you're a therapist who teaches people how to work on themselves instead of just, oh no, you just have to keep coming back to me. And that would actually make me want to come back to you and trust you with more.
And that's exactly what I tell. That's exactly what I tell the therapist, that I've had a therapist say to me, but why would I teach my clients how to self-treat? Then they won't come back. And I said, well, it's true. They're not going to come back for the same thing that they came for in the first place. I said, however, the next time, if they get a pain in another area of their body, who are they going to go see? The one that wants them there every single week for the rest of their life, or the one who's going to show them how to do something to resolve that issue? And if they're talking to their neighbor who's in pain, who are they going to refer? So, and people, you may have a shoulder pain right now, and 6 months from now, you have a hip pain. You'll be back.
Well, that's right. And not only that, Julie, sometimes people will come, they'll do it for themselves, but they'll want the reassurance of coming back anyway, because they know it'll be done properly, and they can get corrected in how they're doing it. And there's that trust there. So I think what you're doing is fabulous, because no one likes to be held to ransom by specialists who are like these magic doctors that only they know. So you're working in a partnership, and there's great. Julie, it has been so wonderful to have you on the show, and so exciting, and so many people, and especially when they're at home and they're not moving around as much, that because lockdown is still going on in a lot of places, and it's really important to be able to treat yourself and deal with things that are going on. Thank you so much for being on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much, Trish. I really appreciate you helping me get this news out to people. Oh, and can we just say one thing real quick
Yes.
about my TEDx
Yes.
talk? If you go to TEDx, I do. If you go to TEDx and just put in Julie Donnelly, pain, it'll pop right up. And the title of the talk is called The Pain Question No One is Asking. So they can put in the pain question no one is asking, or they can just put in Julie Donnelly, pain, and it'll come up. So
that combination will get them there.
If they put the TEDx before my name. They can do that. Go to TEDx, right? Go to TEDx and then Julie Donnelly, pain. So thank you for letting me share that.
Oh, absolute pleasure. Stay on there and we'll say goodbye afterwards while I share this final message for people as we finish up the show.